Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your Saw Machine Man, and we're looking at a Singer 301. And this is for a customer of mine who's curious about a 301, but she's seeing the black ones for a bunch of money, and she's seeing the two-tone, like the mocha and tan ones for a bunch of money because those are the most popular. They're like in the $400, $500, $600 range. But I told her that this particular color, this sand color, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. It's popular in the new Toyotas, I know, but I don't know about the sewing machine. Nobody wants it. It's like an ugly duckling. So I'm going to let her take a look at this one. It's a good little machine. Of course, I go through them A to Z. I make sure everything on them, from stem to stern, from sea to shining sea, is like it's supposed to be. And this one's no exception. It's just a good little machine. Forward and reverse. It doesn't do a bunch of fancy stuff. You can put a buttonhole attachment on it, make buttonholes. And it has a drop feed, so you can do freehand stitching, freehand, what do we call it when you freehand quilt? I guess you just call it freehand quilting. I don't know. But you can drop the feed on it. It's got the little feed drop over here on the side. You just turn it and unscrew it. Feed drop right down. It's got the adjustable pressure on top, which is good. Drop feed, which is good. And you disengage the hand wheel, the tried and true way of doing it, to wind the bobbin. The simple issue to wind the bobbin. And I'm going to show how to wind the bobbin, because I had another customer who said her bobbin winder wasn't working properly on the 301. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to show off this ugly duckling for one customer, and we're going to show how to wind the bobbin and thread it for another customer. So it's going to be a twofer today. So let's start off with winding the bobbin. Now, of course, with the winding the bobbin on any machine, first you make sure you have a correct bobbin. This is a featherweight bobbin, same as a 301. They're interchangeable, and it has a very good manufacturer. I got these from the featherweight shop, and if I don't get them from the featherweight shop, I can get them from odds and ends suppliers, and I'll have to check them. I'll have to check to make sure the inside hole is the right diameter, make sure the outside is right, make sure the sides are parallel, because they have to fit on your winder. They have to fit all the way on. And if it's too small, it won't go on. And if it's too big, it will spin, whether this is spinning or not. So make sure you have the right bobbin, put it on, push it all the way over, because when you push it up, it has to line up with this guide, which is the automatic shutoff if you want to fill it up. So here's how we do it. Put the spool on the spool stud right there. There's always a guide, always a pinch point for every winder, like that. You take it up and around. Let's get close so you can see what I do. A lot of folks are like, what are you talking about? It cuts itself off. Well, I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say it cuts itself. Bear with me here for a second so I can get this where you can see it. You pick it around a couple times, 2 or 3. 1, hold that wheel still. 2, put it up through. Try to do this through the screen as we're looking at it in real time. And I put it through the wall of the left-hand side. Put it through one of the holes on the left-hand side. Just put it right through like so, and hold on to it. Make sure all the threads are inside, except for this one, because it's going to cut flush on the side. Then you push this up against the hand wheel. It's going to ride right there. Push this up against the hand wheel. And you always want to make sure that you've determined that there's no oil on here. You have to wipe this off, because sometimes you could put some oil in your oil hole. And of course, this is a centrifugal force thing. As you oil it ever so sparingly, if you get it spinning, it'll spin and get all over the rubber wheel. There'll be no friction. Wipe this off, or there'll be no friction. And sometimes that's why there's a malfunction and it won't go. So you bring it up so it's just touching. You don't have to really push on it real hard. So it's just touching. Make sure your hand wheel clutch is disengaged. And then you step on the gas, and away you go. And it will cut the thread clean on the side, and there's no thread on the outside. On either side, it's all contained on the inside. And I always like to hold my finger on top of the spool, because you can see it gets pretty wobbly, and it will launch into space for you. So you can wind that all the way full. You can wind it halfway. Sometimes you can even get involved in guiding the thread so it's nice and smooth. Sometimes it'll want to go real pretty, and sometimes you can help guide it. I almost always end up guiding it on any machine to make sure. And this little push point here will cut it off when it's full, but I don't like to get them really full because then it might drag in the bobbin case. So that's how you wind the bobbin. You pull it off. And of course, then you put it in your bobbin case, and you want to put it in there correctly. You don't want to put it in there so it's not in there correctly. So let's take the bobbin case out. And of course, whenever you're buying one of these, it's always good to make sure that you're getting a bobbin case that is a genuine bobbin case. They interchange with featherweights. A lot of the featherweights will fit in the 301s. Some of the 301s won't fit in a featherweight, and you'll see that sometimes when you buy them. It'll say for a featherweight, not a 301. For a 301, not a featherweight, but you try it, it works, you know you got it, because sometimes you don't know the history. You don't know the history of the bobbin case. Maybe somebody got it from another machine. Maybe they got it from a featherweight, ordered it, you don't know. But you try it, see if it works. But if it says right there on the bottom, where's it at? There's the bottom. Semenco, right there. 4, 5. Oh, jeez. What does that say? I'll get it over here in my light. 45750. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't see that number. 45750. Semenco, Singer Manufacturing Company. 45750. That's a genuine Singer bobbin case. There's all sorts of Chinese knockoffs out there that don't work. And it'll tell you when you're ordering it. Be careful. These don't work. But I'm like, why do you sell them? Well, people buy them. So when you put it in, as it's facing you, it's going to be turning, let's see, it's going to be going counterclockwise on this one. As it's facing you, it doesn't matter which position it's in. As long as it's facing you, you put it in. You got to come around to the slot. It's going counterclockwise. You're going to find the slot, put it in the slot, pull it down, and underneath the little flat piece of steel there, and not the top. And of course, when a quality bobbin case has a quality bobbin in it, when you hold the latch, it doesn't fall out. And then you place it in the machine like so. Always make sure the position finger is on top, up here, okay? And you put it left to right, like so. You snap it in so it's flush on the end, so it's not sticking out. If it's not snapped all the way in, you'll go to sew and it will pop out, and it will make a disaster for you. Now, winding, let's see, did I get that thing in there? Let's get that out. Okay. Now we wound it, we inserted it. Now let's thread the top. I have a spool already on the back. Here's a spool pin in the back. And you have a guide and a guide. Catch the back guide. And what's the first rule of threading the machine, any machine, no matter what it is? Rule 1, step 1, raise the presser foot. That opens the tension assembly. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen the other videos on opening up the tension assembly, you'll see the movement. When you raise it and lower it. You raise it, it opens them up. When you lower it, it clamps them back down. And that's very important because you don't want to thread it with them clamped down, or the thread won't get between the disc. You want them to be open, like they are open now. Put it in the top notch. This guide on the side, always make sure you put it in that guide, right up against it, and let it slide right in between the discs. It'll get up here. It'll be a mess. It'll keep back in the back. It'll be a mess. It's got to slide between those discs and holding pressure on the thread so it doesn't. I can hold it right there if I want to. Lift it up till it clicks. Click. And then you lower it. Lower your presser foot and pull, and make sure you feel that resistance. Like someone has a hold of it and is not letting go. That's how you know you have it threaded between the discs. Otherwise, you'll start sewing. It'll make a mess. It'll jam. And it's not good. So you got that. Press foot down. You got a thread guide there. You go to right to left through the take-up lever. Sometimes people miss that, and it'll cause a problem. You got to go right to left through the take-up lever. Then you have 4 thread guides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Well, the new machines have no thread guides from there to there. It's amazing to have 4, but the idea is to keep the thread as close to the machine as possible. And by doing that, you keep it from getting wrapped around and causing malfunctions. And the newer machines, they're all about price. So they're not into really doing that for you. Let's see if we can thread this crazy thing from behind the camera. That's asking for a lot. Let's see here. And it threads right to left, by the way. The flat side of the needle goes to the left, and it threads right to left. And you always double check and make sure you can run your nail up and down the needle, and you'll feel that slot that runs the entire length of the needle. That's when you know you have it installed properly, and always push it all the way up into the stop point. If you put it in flat side to the left, but it's not all the way up, if it's down even a millimeter, it'll cause the timing to be off, and your machine will not sew. It'll skip stitches like crazy. What in the heck? I thought I did everything right. Nope, everything right, plus everything right. That's what it takes to get it going. So let's make sure we didn't goof anything up. We got a good bobbin wound. We got it in the bobbin case properly. We got it threaded properly. We double checked to make sure. And let's see if we can give it the gas. Oh my goodness, there she goes. And it makes a perfect stitch. And the beauty of this little guy is that it's not $600. It's not $400. This one is, I have it for sale for $299. Metal Gear Direct Drive Singer 301. So this is for my customer who's looking for a 301. She doesn't care that it's black, or she doesn't care that it's nifty and all this wacky doodle stuff with the 2-tone. She just wants a good sewing machine that'll sew. And these are ugly ducklings. Nobody wants them. I can't keep a black one around. I can't keep a 2-tone around. But I usually have 2 or 3 of these. I'm like, if you want one, yeah, just let me know. I have them all the time. Ugly ducklings. All right, that's how you wind the bobbin. Put it all in. If you want this one, I think I have 3 of these for $2.99. So if you want one, let me know. Appreciate it. Thanks.